talking about.
stuff.
Okay.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to the TED Show. It's episode 112. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, and I am here with my beautiful, effervescent friend, living LaVeta Logan. So we didn't plan this today. She has read on. Oh, she does need phone books. We got to get you up there. All right, sit up a little bit. You're fine.
Wow.
All right, so let us know you can hear us and see us. Kim Crotine is, Kim, I love you. I haven't talked to her in 1,000 years. Let us know you can hear us or see us. And we have an audience today, actually. We've got the three angels behind us, Charlie's angels behind us. So let us know you can hear us and see us so I see hearts going across, so they must be able to hear. I mean, how can you not hear me? Donna Dallas is on. She's on the show tomorrow. Shirley's on a cruise and saying hi right now.
Wow.
All right, Shirley, thank you. Sounds good. All right, LaVeta, you know I love you and I love your energy, so I'm very happy to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Ted.
So
really
excited.
appreciate being here.
We've already had way too much fun. 30 minutes. Hey, Donna, we love you. I'm doing her show tomorrow. She's got an art exhibit that's opening at the Grand Bohemian next door.
Ooh.
So we're doing a show with her tomorrow. John Wild High, he's a radio guy. So, you know, she's famous. You see, she says, I love that sweet girl.
Thank you.
Right? So this is the best part about this. So give us a little bit of background about you. That's always where I like to start. And don't give me the stuff about business. Give me what happened to LaVeta. You have a long, lengthy bio, which I read. Hey, Corey. No, it was good. It was really good. But there were a whole bunch of things in there that I didn't know about. First of all, you were retired after 37 years.
Yes, I did.
I mean, there's the skin thing right there.
Yes.
So give us a little bit about you.
Well, just a little bit of background about me. I grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Oh, you're a Florida girl.
Daytona Beach in the house. But grew up in Daytona Beach. But both of my parents were educators. I graduated from Bethune-Cookman University. Shout out to BCU.
BCU.
Yes. And from there, I had started my career with the federal government. So there goes the 37 years. But I'm only 37.
I was going to
so
say,
I started
you were one or
when
two
I
when
was
you started.
One. Exactly.
Your skin doesn't give you away.
Oh, you know the old saying.
Can I say it?
Yes, you can say it.
I can say black don't crack?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
You know, that's what I wanted to say first. And I'm like, I won't do that.
That's right.
But
that's
it's true.
Right.
You have 0 wrinkles. It's insane.
Thank you. The lighting helps, too.
The lighting's
and
so
also,
good today.
very good genes.
Good
you
genes,
should see my
right?
parents. My parents, 82 years old.
Nice.
They are amazing people. Everyone knows Mr. and Mrs. Hayes from Daytona Beach, Florida. I have to give a shout out to my parents. And they are 82 years young.
They are. And how about so Carl's your husband? I
and
love Carl.
Carl is my awesome husband.
Carl's not here today. He's got to work or something.
That's right. And guess what? We're having fun, and he's working. So that's a good.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's
Carl's
really
an
fun.
amazing guy too. We'll talk about your partnership and what you're doing in business. So
Yes.
what brought you to financial services?
Okay.
Because you did a lot in your bio. So
Yes.
I posted the whole bio because my goal is always to have, if you write it, I'm going to put it out there.
Okay.
So you posted a whole bunch of stuff about women and college students and what your goals were, and you're working with World Financial is what you have on.
Correct.
Okay, so Christian Dirks is somebody that I've known for a long time who's down south that does that.
Mm-hmm.
But why that? Why get into that after the service with the government for so long?
Well, what flows into that is a little bit about my story, how I really got into it.
Tell us.
Yes, this is amazing.
Preach.
This is an awesome story. So, when I was married, this is number 3 for me. Woohoo!
Oh, this is new stuff.
Yes.
Carl's
this is
number
great.
3?
Carl is number 3, man. Yes, indeed. So
what happened at 1 and 2? That's really the story.
1 was 3 years. 2 was 23 years.
Oh my God.
So it was when that big divorce happened. Women, you know what I'm talking about. Men too. When that big divorce happened, and I was retiring 5 years from that, and I said, oh my gosh, I have to get myself together because my daughter was going to college, her first year in college, and she's like going to college, no problem. So then I said, oh my goodness, I'm going through this big divorce. And what do? I'm an accountant. I should know this stuff. And I really didn't know. It all goes back to you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So,
that
as
wasn't
a
your
result,
area of expertise at that time.
No, it was governmental accounting because I did 37 years federal government.
Oh, should we be scared of you for that?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
different.
Absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Allegedly.
Yes. So as a result of that, Carl, he was always into the financial services business, always. And he would always try to talk to my husband. Did you get that? He would always
No, but I swear to God,
husband.
I haven't heard that before. So
okay. That's our new term, husband.
We're going to hashtag that when we share the show. But your husband is probably one of my favorite comments ever on a show. Can't make that up.
Yes, indeed. So as a result of that, when I was going through the divorce, I said, hey, Carl, are you still doing that financial thing, whatever you tried to talk to us about? I don't know. So he said yes. So I said, okay, I need help because I don't know what I don't know.
So Carl used financial services as a dating app.
Ooh.
Right? Is that what happened? Eric Rawlings
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. It was strictly business. But then what happened, once I got myself together, I made it through the divorce. But the beauty is, Carl set me down with a plan.
Right.
5 years out from retirement. That's the key. Sitting down with a plan, going through it, and I said I was going to be disciplined enough to do it. As a result of that, I retired when I said I was going to retire in 5 years. And better still, my daughter made it out of college with not one student loan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And that's the power of really understanding and being educated when it comes to finances.
So that's what got you hooked, right?
That's what got me hooked.
Because obviously, as a government employee in accounting, you have that mindset of accountability and structure. And so he showed you a whole new world of that as far as the financial services part goes.
Absolutely.
And was he with World Financial Group at the time?
He was. He was with World Financial Group. Carl has been with World Financial Group now for about 21 years.
Not that we're talking about Carl.
Yes.
It's all about
we have to have him in there a little bit, though.
We gotta
but the beauty is, once he taught me, and I finished that divorce, I said, man, look at here. You know what you're doing. I'm marrying you now.
You set me up. You got me going.
Yes, indeed. And it's been a great partnership.
And you've been married for how long to Carl?
5 years. Woo!
Oh, is it 5
years?
That's amazing.
Yes.
And you just had a birthday.
I did.
Right? You're 30.
Yes. I just turned 30. Yes. Remember? Oh no, it has to be 37 because remember I worked
I forgot about
years.
that.
So
you were a child bride.
Exactly. So we have to go up a little bit, and that's good.
You're passionate about what you do. One of the wonderful things I love when we sit and talk is that you are really passionate. Like, you can't make that up. There are financial planners and people who are in the financial industry that it can be boring and it can be challenging for most people, but you make it fun and you make it engaging and you really sit down and listen to people, and you have women and college students, which is what you put in your bio. So talk about that. Talk about why that's your focus and what you do with that.
The focus, why I focus in on that, is because of what happened to me. So I wanted to make sure that, especially as far as women, that we understand financial education, financial literacy. Okay, and then when it comes to the students now, they don't teach this stuff in college.
They don't.
They do not teach financial education at all. So we're out there making sure that we have workshops for everyone. And my passion is women, but my passion really is everyone.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that everybody's financially educated. So that's why we do the workshops. And they're entirely complimentary. On Wednesdays.
That means free, people. If that's too big of a word for you. Complimentary is free.
Yes, indeed. So that's how, I really got into the working with women and also working with the college students, because, the college students, just to remember, they're our future. So they need to learn this stuff. And it was one amazing story with my daughter, because we sat down with her early on when she was in college. So many of her friends, while she was in college, once they graduated, they came back to us and said, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, you were trying to teach us something about 401k, retirements and everything. So now we have a real job. So we need to really talk about that. And that is the beauty of what we do, to be able to pass on a legacy of financial literacy. So that's my passion, especially, like to say, for the college children.
Well, and I think a lot of college students these days they're burdened with so much debt. And so they come out of college, on the mortgage side, we see it, and we try to forgive as much of it as we can, but it's a debt. And you've got, I don't know, 80 years to pay it off because they keep refinancing it.
Yes.
So how do you address that with students? So not everybody, like I couldn't afford to go to school if I didn't have student loans.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of people in that situation. So you graduate, you go into your job, you're not making the 6 figures you think you're going to make, and you have this student loan payment all of a sudden. How do you work that into the financial planning?
We work it into the financial planning once we sit down with them, and then we're looking at like, what's the interest rates? That's key. Sure. What is the interest rate that they have on that student loan, okay? And, student loans do not go away.
Ever.
They don't go away. So
they're like roaches.
Exactly. They just keep going, keep going.
Yeah. You can refinance them till you die.
That's right.
And then after you die, they're going to refinance them anyway.
Exactly. Right. So, and sitting down with them and finding out exactly what that interest rate is. So that is so important to do that. And even before then, we have a college planning program that we deal with students that's in 9th grade even, so that their parents can help to understand, the college funding, the entire college funding program. But sitting down with them, that's the key. Looking to see what their interest rate is, and then helping them to, okay, this is a way to, doing a debt roll up. Like, okay, you can pay this off, you can pay this, pay the amounts, but this is how long it's going to take. Right. And just in case you get that extra bonus, put a little bit more to it. Right,
and you really are helping. I think a lot of people steer away from anybody who says they're in the financial industry because they're afraid you're trying to sell. They're the old used car salesman, life insurance person, and they're scared to death of them. I'm a licensed life agent for 20 plus years. Ooh. And if I say that out loud, I might as well say I'm an attorney or an undertaker, right? So nobody wants to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. But it's so important to everyone to talk about it. We have a show coming up where we're going to do David Swanson, who's my pastor at First Pres over here. We're going to do a show about what's your eulogy, what's your funeral going to look like. Financial planning is going to be a giant part of that, and we're going to have LaVeta on there. She doesn't know that yet. So this is the announcement. But I think a lot of people they shy away from it because they don't want to talk about it. You're facing your mortality, or you're facing what you perceive as your failures in, wow, I went to school, I have $900,000 in debt in student loans, and I'm making $35,000 a year. Right. I should have been a barista at Starbucks,
exactly.
Right? And everybody's got this thing, but they're afraid there's a shame in it, but there shouldn't be. There are ways, if you work with a professional like LaVeta, to get out of that or to work through it and at least have a plan.
Right, and that's the key. Having that plan and sitting down with someone that you really trust,
right.
Someone that you can relate to. Don't let anybody just sell you stuff, because if they're selling stuff, you don't understand it. It's amazing how we sit down with people, they don't even know what they have. They look at their 401ks, they look at their, insurance policies. Well, what do you have? A lot of times they don't even know. So having that plan is so important.
So Christy Kingard Nevels, right?
Christy, hey Christy!
Says LaVeta knows how to financially empower people like no one else. And I think that's it, because that's what you do. You're empowering them. You're giving them the information, but you're also giving them the structure and the guidance, because a lot of people do hook up with people who are all about the product. Right. So I've got this goal, and I have to sell 10 life policies this month. Right. We all know those people because I have seen those people. I've competed against those people when I was actively writing insurance. You're not like that. You are really trying to figure out their plan. You're taking everything in. You're taking all of their information and listening to them, which is key, guys. Yes. If they're just trying to push a product, you need to run screaming. But you need to listen to somebody like LaVeta, and you should listen to LaVeta because you have their best interest at heart.
That's so true. That's so true. And that's where we come from, is really having someone else's interest. Listening to them, that is key. It's not about us. It's not about what our goals and dreams are. And that's the first thing that we start with. What are your goals? What are your dreams? Where do you want to be, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now? That's the thing. Where do you want to be? And I think when you find people that are like that, that is the most important thing that you can do.
I agree. So what do you, for women especially, so you talked about your 6 divorces, and I'm kidding. You talked but you're a woman in a world where you may have had somebody else doing all of the planning.
Yes.
You may have depended on your husband or your significant other. You're addressing these issues with them that they may not have thought about before, and they're facing things and dealing with things that they don't know anything about, or at least they're not as educated as they should be. So tell me about that passion with that. Obviously, you've got the history with it, and I understand why you do it, but there are some special challenges for them.
There really, really are. A lot of times because they don't know. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know where to go to, to talk to anyone. And as a result, they just keep it in. And a lot of times they're dying. They're really dying in, because of the shamefulness. Even for me, I used to not tell my story. And then I believe my cousin said to me, you have a story to tell. Tell your story.
Great.
That's how you connect to people. And when in doing that, like I said, with the women, once they find out, hey, there's resources out there. There are people that you can talk to that genuinely have your interests,
right,
that genuinely are passionate about that. So everybody's listening, come talk to me, okay?
Talk to
I can relate
LaVeta
to it.
Logan.
And that's what we would do.
That.
Hashtag livinglevita.com.
What are the... That's right, she is. She's LaVetaLogan.com. I got it. I remembered that part. What are some of the challenges with all the changes in taxes and all the things that are going on that you see people are facing right now? Because I think a lot of people are a little leery. They're a little unsure. What should they do? I mean, you're hearing all this stuff about Bitcoin. I had a guest on that does a lot of Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. People are like, should I invest in that? Should I not? Shouldn't they take care of their life insurance first, or at least that should be in the top couple to really figure out, because you can invest all day long, but if your family can't pay for your funeral when you die, or there's no estate left over afterward and they're struggling to make a mortgage payment, you're not taking care of that, how do you educate people in this environment?
Yes, what we do from that standpoint is making sure that we always talk about building a strong financial foundation. And when we talk about that foundation, you got to build it from the ground up. That's how you build a house, from the ground up. So you talk about the proper protection. That's number one. A lot of times, people don't think about the life insurance, and what they do is like life insurance is a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not a life insurance policy, everyone. So we start from the proper protection, then we go to, looking at what's your debt. Okay, looking at the debt, and then we go to the emergency fund. Okay, what do you have set up for your emergency fund? Then you start the investments, because so many people will come to us and say, hey, what do I want to invest in? Well, we don't know, because is your proper foundation set up?
Well, yeah, if you don't have the foundation, you're just trying to jump into the stock market or investments, you're putting the cart before the horse.
That's right.
And I don't know. I think that a lot of people just read everything on social media. They read the news. They're like, oh, let me invest $10,000 in Bitcoin. I'm a proponent of investing, right? But you want to have all of your ducks in a row before you make that leap. There's a progression that you need to do, and that's what you teach people.
And that's so important. And even when you were talking about the taxes, go to a tax professional. Okay, that's my thing. Especially with all the changes that are going through, seek out a good tax professional. That you feel comfortable with. That's the key. Feeling very comfortable, not when they just say, okay, let me just do something. But you want to understand what the new tax law is too. Don't be blindsided. Understand what's going on. Understand when they give you that tax return, know what that tax return says. Know all the pages that's in there. So if you have to defend it or something like that, you know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. You may have somebody else prep it. But if it's wrong, you guys are going to be jail cell buddies.
That's right.
And you have to really understand that you're responsible for that. You have to figure that out.
That's right.
You have to know and be educated. Our little audience is laughing about that, but it's true. You cannot make that up. You have to know that just because somebody else does it at H&R Block or your CPA, you're still ultimately responsible for it because you sign off on that tax return.
That's right.
So you need to be educated about it.
That's right. And I did 10 years with the IRS. So trust
I
and
thought you were going to say
believe.
10 years in solitary confinement.
No.
I don't know where this was going. All right, 10 years
Yes,
with the
10
IRS.
10 years with IRS, and I got a chance to see so much, when it comes to taxes, and, especially with businesses. Businesses have to be so careful. It's so important for you to stay on top of the tax laws that's out there and not just let, your professional, just leave it to your professionals.
Correct. All right, so you do also a lot of stuff in the community for charity work. You donate a lot of your time. I know because I've seen you. You have Orlando Real Housewives.
Orlando Housewives of Finance.
That's it. Well, in my mind, it's a Real Housewives on Bravo. Come on.
I love it.
So talk about that program.
Yes, with the Orlando Housewives of Finance, what we do, we come up with a lot of different programs, we're doing a vision board party. Our vision board that's coming up is February 10th, and it's going to be at the Whole Foods right there in the Dr. Phillips. And it's all about being powerful, be passionate, and be prosperous. So we'll do those different events, and then we'll also have another event that is our Healthy, Wealthy, Wise event. So look for different events that we're hosting for the Orlando Housewives of Finance. But the main thing, it comes back to the finance. We always want to make sure that we put that financial piece on there. And our vision board party that we're having, we want to make sure that we have men there too. Okay, it's not just women. We want couples. I know, even though it says housewives, housewives are just sponsoring it. That's why our logo this time has a man and a woman there.
Oh, I should have paid attention to that.
Yes. But the one that we had in Lake Mary, it was awesome because we had several couples there. And actually, Carl and I, for the first time, sat down and started our vision board together.
How did that work out? Because I think a lot of people, they look at vision boards and they go, oh my God, you're cutting stuff out of a magazine. I just don't want to participate, or maybe that's not going to be for me. But how awesome is it for you as the sponsor, as the person involved, that you all did it with them? So how did that look? At the end of it, what did yours and Carl's vision boards look like?
Oh man, our vision board was amazing, but it's not finished yet, okay? So we're going to finish it when on the 10th that's coming up.
That's
Saturday. So we're going to finish it then. But what we did, we just said, okay, you look at the magazine, I'll look at the magazine, and we put both of the ideas together. Because one of the things that's on my vision board for my side is to learn how to speak Spanish. So I didn't think about that before. So
like
that's
Corona,
something that.
Tequila.
Okay, Okay.
I'm fluent.
You're fluent in those, right?
Totally.
But that's some of the things that you can do together as a couple. And and then that way when you put it up, then you can see like, okay, this is the things that we want to keep going together as a couple. And you could be boyfriend and girlfriend. It's okay. Or partners. It doesn't matter.
Have it. Your boo is on, Jill. Jill's in the background. Mark Johnson just came on, and that's her husband, Boo.
Oh.
So we want to say
hi
to him. Hey, Boo.
Hey, Boo.
You know I was going to call that out as soon as you come on. Jill's like, I'm never coming back again. But I love that because what happens, I think, is a lot of people have their own individual visions, but they never bring it together as a couple.
Exactly. I'm
guilty of that. I think that Stacy and I we each have our own visions, and sometimes I share mine is overwhelming, I am sure, because of, I'm a quiet church mouse person. So it becomes overwhelming for her, but it's so important for us to all be on the same page when you're in a relationship, especially when you're sharing finances. You're trying to reach a specific goal. You want to buy a house, you want to have kids, you want to travel, anything that you want to do. So if you're not on the same page as a couple, that is very challenging. And I don't think we do enough of the vision boarding and the discussion of that together.
Right. So make sure on the 10th, bring your spouses, bring your partners, men come out and do your own vision board. Even if it's the first time, it'll be so much fun.
Right.
You see me? It's going to be a lot of fun. Trust me.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
But I think that's so important. I love that you're doing that. And then you also do, you have stuff in Spanish I saw over here.
Yeah.
She's trying to learn that, which we learned a few minutes ago. Do you feel like the Hispanic market in Orlando, which is such a huge market, is being underserved in the financial services industry?
Absolutely. Because when you come at it from a standpoint of teaching educating, then that's the key. And we actually have Spanish books for it, is Saving Your Future books, and it's in Spanish. Not only is it in Spanish, it is in Chinese, and it is in Vietnamese.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that all communities are met. Make sure that they understand that they get the financial education that they need too, because it's for everyone.
Because they're underserved. So when being a licensed life guy, one of the challenges I had culturally was a lot of the different ethnic groups are not so big about anything financial planning or life insurance.
Yes.
So when I had my office at Curry Ford in Chickasaw many years ago, that was a predominantly Hispanic area at the time. And they would come in and say, look, we appreciate you offering life insurance, for example. We don't believe in it. We don't like it. And I know they've become more educated and there's so much more going on. But you have to cross the cultural boundaries and understand how they approach financial planning.
Right. And I think the approach to make sure that they understand it still goes back to that education. Letting them know, once they go through the education, once they go through workshops, like one of our workshops specifically talks about life insurance. So that way they can get educated themselves and see how important it is, to see what the values of it is and everything. So that's the key to me, to cross that cultural boundary,
right,
that education piece.
So David Frazier, thank you for coming on. I never get to see you. And Bob Lee says he wants to meet LaVeta.
Okay.
All right, so give them some, I didn't tell you this, I should have in the beginning. You've got to give a couple of words of wisdom because we're already at 30 minutes.
Oh,
can you believe how fast it goes? It's insane. So give them some parting words of wisdom. We're going to give all of LaVeta's contact information when we post the show. We'll hashtag it. We'll put our URLs up. We'll do everything that you need to have in order to get in touch with LaVeta and Carl.
Yes.
But give them some parting words of wisdom.
I would say the parting words would be, first of all, live life. Live it to the fullest. But while you're doing that, make sure you save your future. Make sure you get financially educated and be your own money manager. That is important. And you can do that by being financially educated. Don't leave it to someone else. Don't leave it to the government. Learn it yourself.
I love it. You have been a joy. I love you to pieces. You know I do. She's amazing, right? She's awesome. And look how great she looks in red. Oh, look, we have an audience clapping in the background. I love it. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll post all of LaVeta's information, I promise, as soon as this is over. Thank you guys for loving us and supporting us, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
You're all right. You don't have to push